Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about here. My name is Matt.
My name is Dyl, and it's draft time. We all know it. We all love it, and I'm not loving it because I had 1 week of glory, and I'm back in the L column. Obviously, the going for the best Hunger Games movie up front didn't work out because that night after we drafted, I watched the new Hunger Games movie, and that was the real best one. So my strategy did not work out, but I'm hoping today to fix it up. But Matt had a great idea for our draft this week, so I will let him take it away.
So this week, what we're going to be drafting in honor of Wish releasing this week, which I'm going to be honest, most people don't care about Wish. We just saw that. But Wish is in celebration of Disney's 100 years. And our drafts, we always take 10 films, 10 different things. And so what I was thinking is, in honor of Wish coming out, we could do a Disney decade draft because we're celebrating 100 years of Disney. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to draft decades of Disney films. And that's just not just animated films. That is all over the place. It's anything that Disney made at that time. That can be live action films. That could be the MCU. That could be the new Star Wars films. That could be Avatar: The Way of Water. So that is anything that Disney made is fair game. It's not anything that Disney owns. We're not going to go back into like, oh, well, Disney purchased the old Star Wars. That doesn't count. They didn't make it. But anything that Disney made, it counts. So let's start drafting these Disney decades. And I get the first pick. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, the obvious first pick is the 1990s, right? Because that's the Disney Renaissance, where they had stuff like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. But they also had some stuff like Mulan and Pocahontas and Hercules, which are films that I do not like.
Don't put Hercules in that category.
I don't like Hercules. I'm sorry, Dylan. Oh, I forgot to mention one of my favorites, which is The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is also great. But that said, outside of those Disney Renaissance films, what does the 90s really have to offer in terms of Disney? Not as much, in my opinion, outside of that. But you know what I think actually is an even stronger run of films with all bangers, no misses? It's in the 2000s. Because that is the Pixar golden era, ranging from Monsters, Inc. to Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, WALL-E, and Up. That is a string of films that I think is absolutely undefeatable, and that makes it, in my opinion, the best decade for Disney. No, it's not directly Disney animation, where I think they had a pretty shit decade, going from stuff like Home on the Range to Chicken Little. I think, honestly, the only great Disney animated film in the 2000s is Lilo and Stitch, which is fantastic. That is a magnificent film. But that said, the Pixar golden era makes the 2000s so goddamn good that I have to pick it first.
Well, that makes my two picks super, super easy because, yes, give me the 90s, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, Hercules. I would say 4 of the top 6, 7 Disney animated films of all time. Yes, I include Hercules there. I don't care. One of the best soundtracks in Disney animation history. But yes, 90s, banger after banger. Yeah, maybe you have a miss here or there. Pocahontas looks great. Not the most fun movie. Mulan, I think you're underselling a little bit. I think Mulan's very fun time. Hunchback, great. Tarzan even, so good.
Oh, I forgot Tarzan. That's a good one.
Now, yeah, the live action output that decade may not have been the best. Pixar was just starting up, so you don't have any of the Pixar classics, but that's why I'm taking the 2010s, because we get some Pixar classics. Inside Out, Toy Story 3, and the one, the only, the beautiful Cars 2. Mater, he reigns supreme in that movie. You can see those TikToks out there. Lightning McQueen, he's the greatest athlete of all time. But it's not just that stuff, because in the 2010s, we have the start of the MCU. We have some of the original movies that people love and adore. And, 2010s, it includes 2019. So we have Infinity War, and we have Endgame, people's favorite superhero movies of all time. Me, maybe not, but other people, yes. And of course, we have Disney animated film classics like Tangled, like Frozen, like Zootopia, and my personal favorite Disney animated film of all time, not called The Lion King, Moana.
Yeah, 2010s get slept on. That was a big big decade for Disney. Can't forget, they bought and made new Star Wars movies in that time. They bought all of Fox in that time. MCU. Like, that is a big decade. They had a record decade that they've just been chasing ever since. So I think you probably won the draft with those two picks back to back.
Maybe. I don't know. I was trying to avoid some of the negatives of the 2000s because there's some stinker Pixar movies in some people's opinions, some bad Disney animated films, as well as a lot of live action remakes that people don't love, and those Star Wars movies that people don't love.
If you leave out the live action remakes, people will really hate on those, and you could lose based on those. But the 2010s, outside of the live action remakes, that is a banner decade for Disney.
But now Europe, you got two picks here, and I mean, this board dried up really fast.
I actually don't think so, because we haven't even touched the golden era. I mean, I just did golden era Pixar. Now I'm going to do Disney's golden era, the original golden era, which is the 1950s. I think that Sleeping Beauty is actually maybe the best Disney animated film. It is gorgeous. It looks like nothing else. It has this opulent design to it that looks like a storybook come to life in all the best ways. I only watched it for the first time last year, and it shocked me with how stunning everything about Sleeping Beauty is. It also had Cinderella, which deserves the hype. That's a fantastic film as well. And stuff like Alice in Wonderland. The 50s was excellent. They also had some Oscar-winning live-action films like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So yeah, honestly, I think the 1950s deserves all the hype and more for Disney. They did so much great stuff in that decade. And then I gotta go to another classic Disney era here, which is the 1940s, where they dropped Pinocchio, they dropped Bambi, which are both I think, two of the best films of all time. Full stop. Incredible stuff. So that is my picks there. I am totally content with those two. Those are, personally, I would say, top tier decades.
I mean, people watching here on YouTube, you just saw my face. Hey, we just want to gasp. He took the 1940s. That has the Three Caballeros. I'm devastated. I lost the Three Caballeros to my team. Panchito, please forgive me. But now I'm up.
Oh, I forgot Fantasia. Fantasia as well. Oh my God.
Brilliant.
The
it's
iconic.
Brilliant. It is.
Yeah,
I was avoiding mentioning Fantasia because it makes me sad as well. Now I have two picks here, and I can go in a few directions. I can go with the meme pick. I can go with the decade that has the best movie and a bunch of dookie. But I'm going to go with the one that has a lot of great stuff as well as a lot of bad stuff. And maybe it's a little recency bias that people will hate on me for this, but I'm going with the 2020s. I think the decade has some really great output so far. If you look at the Disney Plus side, we have Hamilton, the stage recording. People love Hamilton. I love Hamilton. We have Soul, one of Pixar's best outputs in a long time. And, you know, I even forgot to mention this in the 2010s when I picked it before. Coco's there. Great Pixar movie, again. But 2020s, we have Wish. I don't care what people say. Wish, it's great. And then, of course, we have the one, the only, the beautiful Avatar, The Way of Water. Payakan is on my roster. If you don't vote for me, that means you hate Payakan. And do you really want to be known as a Payakan hater? I don't think so. He is friend. He's friend of the Tulkun. So now, I'm up. I don't know what to do here. And hopefully this is the right choice. I don't know, but give me the 1960s because we get a little movie called Mary Poppins, and this one is a classic. It is one of, if not the best, Disney live action movie. Not a company that Disney owns, but an actual Disney live action movie. I think Mary Poppins is the one. We also get some great animated movies like 101 Dalmatians, The Jungle Book. These are ones that I feel like have stood the test of time. People still watch them today. They adore them. They love them. The 60s, I think there's a clear drop off here, but I think it's by far the best of what we have left on the board.
Yeah, you definitely picked the right one there. The 60s had some great stuff. It's, I think, the end of the Disney Golden Era, but 101 Dalmatians is one of the best things that they ever did. Mary Poppins, obviously great. It netted multiple Oscar wins as well. So I'm going to take something a little bit out there, actually, and I'm going to take the 1930s, which only has Snow White for features. But Snow White remains one of the most influential films of all time. Without Snow White, we don't get any other mainstream animated films. Before Snow White, the only animated films that were made were like experimental art films around the world. Snow White showed that animation could be profitable in the mainstream when marketed to American audiences. This was the birth of Disney as a true icon with the American public. But not only did the 1930s have the first major animated film of all time, Disney won, let me check, Disney won 8 Oscars in the 1930s. The award for Best Animated Short Film was first introduced in the Academy Awards in 1932. From 1932 to 1940, Disney won every single year. That is incredible. LeBron James who? Michael Jordan who?
I mean,
the new GOAT.
I have Lightning McQueen. That's unbeatable.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Disney won 8 Oscars in the 1930s. That's fucking nuts. Nuts. Crazy. And that's only in one category. He probably won in other categories too. One category, 8 Oscars. Crazy.
One
last
more
pick.
What do you go with?
Yeah, last pick for me. I'm going to leave you with the 1980s because that's all shit. I'm going to take the 1970s. 1970s gives us the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Oh, lovely movie. It gave us the Aristocats. It's good. It's not iconic, but it's good. And it also gave us a very underrated live action film, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which is a fun, witchy musical. Sort of started the trend of like Hocus Pocus, that sort of stuff. So yeah, give me the 1970s. It is not great, but I would say it is much better than the 1980s, which only has The Little Mermaid.
Give me the 1980s. Little Mermaid, welcome here. We have great music. We have one of the most iconic Disney princesses of all time. That's not all we have. We also have that cool little fox, that cool little hound with an underrated Disney masterclass that is The Fox and the Hound. So I'll gladly welcome that to my team. Everything else, though, I am not going to talk about that.
To wrap things up, the decades that I took for my team, first off, I took the 2000s, mostly because of Pixar. Then I took the 1950s for the golden era of Disney, as well as the 1940s for Pinocchio, for Bambi, for Dumbo. And then I finished off my team by taking the 1930s for that crazy, crazy string of short Oscar wins, and finished my team off with the 1970s for my boy Winnie the Pooh.
On the other side, I took the 1990s with my first pick. Think of all the classic Disney animated films that you watched growing up. They were on my team. And then for the 2010s, I had a lot of classics. They range from Pixar. They range from Disney animated movies. They range to the MCU. We have them all here. And then to the 2020s, yeah, we got Hamilton, we got Avatar, we got Wish, we got Soul. I'm going to keep mentioning Wish. I don't care. This is my new Elemental. If I take L's, I have Elemental too. I completely forgot about that. Wow. W's across the board. 1960s, 101 Dalmatians. We got The Dogs in Us, Mary Poppins. It is here. We rounded out with some more dogs, The Fox and the Hound, and The Little Mermaid. But I am a little scared. You do it the 2000s, and that means that you have Snow Dogs, and that is a very, very, very hefty competition to go against. I may have the Hound, I may have all these dogs on my team, but you have the main dog, Cuba Gooding Jr. Well, for everyone out there, I hope that you don't vote for Matt's team because he has Snow Dogs. I hope that you vote for my team because I have Cars too. I think that's a very fair trade-off right there. But as always, go over to the YouTube community tab, cast your vote. You can do this however you want. The team that you think has the best decade, the team that you think has the most consistent decades, and there's some people even vote for like, oh, you have that one decade that has that one movie I hate, that I absolutely despise, I'm not voting for you. And, if you feel that way about one of my decades, you're just wrong. So vote for me. I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, as always, thank you so much. Make sure to go vote. As always, my name is Matt.
My name is Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.